I think I was very lucky overall in how the incident played out. I think I was unlucky to intersect with this violent, mentally ill guy, but I also think that the fact that this incident has had relatively few severe consequences points to it as an example of kind of a successful, humane society operating.
A sane society, why?
This ill man, Mr. Meyer, only had access to a bread knife to attack me with. He didn't have access to firearms, and that's due in large part to the UK's very successful gun control policy.
Because if it had been in America, for example, things could have been very different.
In America or in a lot of other countries, if there are a lot of armed people around, it's very likely that the assailant gets killed.
Some people would say, though, that the fact that you've been attacked by a man with a knife in a tube station early on Saturday evening shows what a dangerous society we're living in.
These kinds of events are really, really rare in our society. It seems to me that the people who have had significantly tragic outcomes from this incident are mostly Mr. Meyer and his family, and I feel nothing but pity for them.
That's very generous of you, isn't it?
I just don't think he's a very well man. I've never connected this with either Mr. Meyer or my own community backgrounds or religion.
What do you remember about that evening?
Not very much. I was about to exit the tube, and I remember something shocking happening, but I don't remember exactly what the shocking event was. And then I remember being punched and kicked on the ground, and then I lost consciousness, and then found myself being looked after expertly by a junior doctor.
What about your throat being slashed?
I was asleep for that.
Because your throat was slashed 3 times.
I see in the medical reports that there were 3 wounds to my neck.
And how are you now?
I'm recovering pretty well. I've never felt traumatized by the event. The scar on my throat is easy to ignore.
Your attacker has now been convicted, and of course he hasn't been sent to prison. He's been sent to a place which will look after him from a mental health point of view. What do you think about that?
I think that's by far the most just and humane thing to happen to him. That's also an environment where he can be safe from society and society can be safe from him. I'm not at all interested in retribution or having him be punished for his mental illness.